This is Suna Senman, reading again A Course of Love, brought to us by Marie Perron. A continuation of A Course in Miracles, yet 30 years later, and always relevant now. This is part 7. I'll start with the last paragraph of part 6 once again. Obviously, the nature of God is different than the nature of man. God does not have a physical form, nor and does not produce physical offspring. God does, however, have a son, a child, an offspring, who must exist in some form like unto the Father. Within the story of the human race, there is a story about the coming of God's Son, Jesus Christ, who was born, grew into a man, died and rose again to live in some form other than that of a man. Those who believe the story have accepted that Jesus was God's Son before he was born, while he walked the earth, and after he died and resurrected. Whether this is your belief or not, it comes close to the truth in a form that you can understand. Jesus is simply the example life, the life that demonstrates what it means to be God's child. Just as there is a part of you that thinks you are undeserving and made for suffering and strife, there's another part of you that knows this is not true. Think back, and you will remember that from the earliest of ages, you have known that life is not as it is meant to be, that you are not as you are meant to be. The part of you that rages against injustice, pain, and horror does so from a place that does not accept and will never accept that these things are what are meant for you or for those who walk this world with you. And yet your history, in which you so believe, will tell you that the world has always been thus, and that there is no escape from it. In such a world, the question should not be, why do so many take their lives, but why do so few? There are so many forms of pain and horror, from physical illness to torture to loss of love, and in between these many frightful occurrences is the equally distressing life of the purposeless, where hours pass endlessly in toil that is the cost of your survival here. Even those who have studied much and learned the lessons of the Course well leave their learning and their teaching, sit idly by while they earn their living until the dust that has collected upon it obscures it from their sight. This is the cost of turning back when heaven could have been reached, the cost in continuing to believe in the laws of the world that govern the survival of the body. This is the way of those who know this is not the way it is meant to be, and then doubt their knowing. This is the way it has always been. They cry. They lament that they see but one real world while heaven waits just beyond their willingness to proceed. You are the creation like unto your Father, and the family of man is like unto the family of God. Just as children grow in your real world and leave their family, separate from their family to begin their own family, so have you done as part of God's family. In the human family, that separateness and independence that come with age are seen as the way that things should be, and yet a return to the family of origin is also seen as natural. Children go away for a time, eager to assert their independence, and only later to return. The return is the symbol of maturity, acceptance, and often of forgiveness. What does it mean to believe in God? You recognize that you cannot know God in the same way in which you know another human being, and yet you keep seeking this type of knowing. Even with another human being, knowing what they stand for, what their truth is, what rules they obey, how they think, and what they think aligns with what they do is the essence of knowing them. God gave you the Word to know Him by. God gave you the Word made flesh as an example to live by, an example of living God. What more than this is necessary? You seek form when you already have content. Does this make any sense? We will continue A Course of Love tomorrow once again. Enjoy today with blessings, blessings, blessings.